let's get hype. The Misfitzz taking on Spacestation Gaming. Echo, let's get into it.
Yeah, and they're coming in with Space Station John. Now, John is typically an air attacker, but as you can see right now, he's coming in with this strategy that we saw so much happening last week. We saw this Yeti Bow Bat attack strategy that really did a lot of damage last week. So I wonder if he's been practicing this strategy a little bit, saw this base and said, this base is vulnerable. This is what we're going to do. And he's coming in with that Warden Walk. We've been seeing so many players utilize this in this whole ESL Mobile Open Season 5, even in Season 4. Got the King doing some funneling as well from the southern side of the base heading to the west. And then the Yetis and that Wrecker going on in straight for the Town Hall. And nice job with that Ice Golem freezing things up for a moment there. So what he needs to do is at least pull in that 2-star, and that's going to be done with no issue, being that he's going and grabbing that Town Hall nice and early with this base. That kind of gives away the 2-star, but is supposed to protect really well against the 3-star. And what are we seeing here in Verum coming out of that Clan Castle? We've been seeing so much of them, but the Ice Golem.
Yeah, the Ice Golem is just such a great defensive CC troop. It just creates so much time for your defenses to continue to rain down that DPS. We can just see it now in the Eternal Tome. It's been burned already. It was used very smartly to deny the Gigabomb damage, but that was a lot of time when all those defenses were just wailing on those bowlers, wailing on everything else there. And now the attackers in the core of the base, well, they're gone. They're not really there anymore. This is like, you got some heroes, you got a couple Yetis and stuff pushing in. That's really it. A lot of this, and I mean a lot of this, is going to have to come down to this bat usage.
Yeah, and we've been seeing that just amaze us time after time. When you take the splash damage out of the base, bats can do a ton of damage, and here they come up from the north. Look at the Royal Champion taking down that Wizard Tower. Clutch move by her. There's only 2 Wizard Towers left. And the Inferno Tower is on single, so the bats can cruise right through that. This is looking really good right now, as all I see. And look at the Ice Golem on the back end, tanking for those bats on that one Wizard Tower. Another freezes in the back pocket. Here we go. Bats are going to come through, and all they have left is an Inferno Tower, a few Tesla, a cannon. Can they finish off this base? Oh, the single target Inferno is taken down, and that Grand Warden pedestal. The bats are thinning, though, here. It's getting tight. There's one more cannon. The bats are going to take down that Tesla. They do. The final defense is that cannon. There's 30 seconds left on the clock, and it's cleanup time in Verum. Is there time to get this done? 24 seconds?
Yeah. I think it's going to be close, but I do think there's time. You've got a couple wizards, you've got some minions. Things are going in here. Oh yeah, I think we got more than enough time with those bats still in play. 15 seconds. Maybe I spoke too soon. Come on. This looked like such a stellar piece. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Why did I even doubt it for even a second? Why did I doubt it? John coming in with probably one of my favorite examples ever of bat usage there. That Ice Golem tanking for them made me a believer. I've been the most critical component of bats. You know this. I've not been quiet about my dislike of incorrect bat usage. That Ice Golem.
But you're getting turned. You're starting to like the bats. They're proving it that it works week after week. That's exciting. That was an amazing hit, and what a way to start out the war with a 100% triple. Now the Misfitzz, they need to respond. They need to come back with the same. They want to stay in this.
Oh, for sure, because now the pressure is on them. We talk about it when these first round 3-stars, and we'll get into this next attack. The idea that it's looming over you. It's always there. It's like, oh, I got a triple. Oh, I got a triple. Oh, and just, you know what? Get that out of the way. Respond with a triple of your own. Go in. I see a quad quake. I see Yetis, and I see witches. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, you do. And the last time we saw witches was last week when someone from Space Station Gray, I don't remember the attacker, but they came in with a bow witch attack strategy, and we were all amazed because no one uses bow witch anymore. So now we're seeing a Yeti witch combination with 5 healers in there as well. So it's going to be, this is something different that I haven't seen in a while, or possibly at all. Utilizing the Yeti as the kill squad, backing it up with some witch spam, quad quake in the composition as well. And from what it looks like, the siege barracks is going to have a play in this one, unless if something is switched out in a little bit. No, here comes that siege barracks. Yeah, from the west. 2 P.E.K.K.A.s leading the way. And like we spoke of last week, the siege barrack is tucked away nicely in the corner. It's not being targeted. It's going to net us more wizards. And that Grand Warden did a beautiful job setting that funnel. Now the Yetis can push right into that single target infernal compartment. Let's see if they make a fool out of me or if I'm right. There they go. I was right this time in Verum.
There you go. Feels good, man. as we are seeing the push going in now. And there's the quad quake to open up everything. It did activate the town hall, did a decent amount of damage with the tornado trap there as well. We'll see if they were going to regret activating that Giga Inferno. And actually, these ice golems here as well, that could be a bit of a problem as the Hogs are going in out of that siege barracks, and they're frozen up for quite a while. That is a very early Eternal Tome usage, but I think it is 100% correct. Not only denying the damage from that Town Hall, but also one salvo there from that Eagle Artillery. The Town Hall is going to go down. The troops are going to continue to go on through, though. Take a decent amount of damage, but not too bad here, Echo.
Yeah, I think those Hogs came out a little bit earlier than Swaggy would have wanted. They just didn't get any value on the back end. The kill squad didn't get deep enough into the base for those Hogs to get any value. But the attack is not over. There's still a bunch of troops, but look at that scatter shot raining down. And now it's actually, it looks like the Grand Warden is kind of solo. Royal Champion's trying to back end it by herself, and her ability's already been used. So we have a wizard, we have a minion up top that are going to clean up a bunch of that stuff, but it looks like they are not going to be able to grab the triple, although the queen is still fighting for her life. And then she goes down.
Not enough healers left to keep her up and in the fray, and only 62%. Well, it looked like it could have been a decent start. Like, you know, the funnel was set, things looked good. It was the fact that quad quake activated the town hall early, and then the two golems just slowed up everything. Those defensive ice golems in the CC literally were make or break. Talk about wanting to go on and try and break the ice. That's exactly what Swaggy P needed to do and was not able to get it done here. He's going to have this wizard cleaning up a couple of extra percentage on the outside. And of course, if you're just joining us and you're looking, well, why are they still watching this? This attack is over. Because every single percent matters. We go by stars first and foremost. The team at the end with the most stars wins. But if we're tied, which happens more times than you'd think, it does come down to average percentage damage dealt across the entire team, which is why it is so important that we make sure that every single percentage is tallied here in these competitions.
Yeah, I agree. And speaking about why this attack struggled a bit, look at that scatter shot nestled in the eastern side of the base in that small island compartment. The scatter shots were split on each side of the base, which made the attacker have to decide coming in from the angle that they came in on which one they were going to take out, and they were never able to get that second one, which ended up smashing the attack in the end.
Yeah, it just continued to just rain down fire. You know, had the troops going in towards the town hall, had to take down the Eagle Artillery. Just off to the side, just like over here, just like chilling out. You just had that one scatter shot, which made all the difference there. Now the Misfitzz definitely down here. Again, a team that we know can do big things. Has already taken out one of the presumptive favorites here in the ESL Mobile Open. They've got to step up now. They're going up against the powerhouse of Spacestation Gaming, who do not want to go out here in this lower bracket. Let's get into their next attack and see what they have in store for us.
Yeah, let's check it out, and let's see what kind of defense Grim has from the Misfitzz as well. It looks like we have Ghost coming in right now from Space Station, and Ghost is one of the attackers that can do a whole bunch of different strategies. He's not known for one particular strategy, and right now, he's coming in with Electro Dragons. It looks like he's got a Sui E-Drag attack, coming in with a baby dragon up top for some funneling, getting the minions and the balloons in for some funneling, trying to get as much value narrowing down this base as possible. He must have seen the base and thought that something was, you know, he'd be able to get a lot of value from the balloon and the minion and from the baby dragon and just make the base more skinny. And that's going to allow that chain lightning to do more damage from those electro dragons pushing in. But can they do enough? Ooh. That's the challenge. This could be a tough attack.
They did find the Tesla farm first thing to start things off, so that might actually be a bit of a blessing in disguise here, burning a very early Warden ability, but the Sweeper is just continuing to push back the Stone Slammer, and oh my goodness, it seems like Grim perfectly predicted where this attack would come from, because he's got trap after trap lined up, and those balloons are going pop, pop, pop. We'll see if they can continue to go on in, or if they're just going to get whittled away. I think part of the reasons we're seeing E-Drags here is because of how clumped all of these buildings are all in the middle. The space is very compact. We are going to get a lot of value from that splash damage as the Town Hall does go down. The attack is looking fairly good here, 65% in climbing. We'll just have to see if these fairly healthy E-Drags up towards the north part of the base will have enough in the tank to get them through this, and I think they might. This is looking pretty good.
Yeah, this is actually surprising me because that Royal Champion came in from down south. She kind of snuck up there, and she starts taking out a few defenses too. I was expecting this one to kind of slow down and die out in the middle as they entered and came into a lot of defenses, but there's a whole bunch of Electro Dragons left. There's a whole lot of time left on the clock, and there are no defenses left in this base. It looks like Ghost is going to be pulling in the second triple for Space Station Gaming. one after the other. You can't ask for a better start to a war than this.
Literally, mathematically, could not do better. Back-to-back 2 stars here. It's gonna have to. Okay, there's one. Okay, it's fine. The Archers got it, team. We're getting there. Back-to-back for Tribe Gaming, for Spacestation Gaming, I should say. And now Tribe Gaming's got to be looking at this, going, man, why couldn't we do? Well, hang on here, because you're thinking this too. That would have been a very fun matchup if Misfitzz hadn't taken them down. The reason I'm mentioning this, of course, is because Misfitzz has already dethroned one of these top teams, and now they're facing down a team who's seen that, who's looked at that war and has gone, we don't want to let that happen to us. So Misfitzz have really got to step up here. They need at least 2-3 stars now. The pressure is mounting. Oh my goodness.
It's time for them to get it done. And all they have to do, I mean, when you think about it, it's simple. Just go grab a triple and just start picking up triples. But it's not actually that easy, you know? I mean, but that's what they have to do. The number 4 attacker, their second on the roster, has to come on in and smash this base to keep it close and to give them that shot.
Let's take a look. It is going to be Kevin from the Misfitzz and bringing in, seeing a hybrid coming on through.
Yeah, it is the hybrid, and that's probably a good idea since it's one of the strongest attack strategies right now across multiple Town Hall levels in Clash of Clans. You got that Queen charge coming in with that balloon going ahead, making sure there's no seeking air mines or air bombs to hurt her healers. Those healers are very important on this attack. Then a baby dragon coming in with a balloon in front to make sure that that baby dragon is safe as well. You need to get the value from the Queen charge. You need to be able to take out the clan castle, maybe a couple of defenses along the way that you don't want to deal with later on, but look at the Inferno locked onto that Queen.
Oh boy, that is a freeze used early to make sure the Queen does not go down, but this is actually not looking super ideal. Having to burn rage after rage here to deal with the pups. Oh no. Oh, that's not good. Force the Queen ability out as well. Just got to stall. Overlapping with the ice. So freeze a little bit as well here. That could be huge because that single target Inferno, if it chips away, the Queen's just got to get there or she's going to go down. She's targeting every ability, everything but. Okay, there we go. There's the Royal Cloak. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, listen,
that was scary. Like she's going to take down the...
You're sweating over there, and you're not even the one attacking. It was so tight for her over there. But she was able to get through. Yes, her ability was burned, but the base has been narrowed down really nicely. Now you have, I believe, the siege barrack being dropped from down south as well, which is going to narrow the base down even more. The king going to assist with that, and then the miners and the hogs are going to be able to go on in right here. But those healers are all gone. The Queen charge died, and the healers never made their way back to the miners or the hogs where they can get even more value. But I like the early tome because you got to get through that scatter shot. It is devastating to those hog riders. Yeah, I lose so many hog riders to that thing. It's just brutal.
Well, because it's like you have so many seconds of invulnerability. Like that is such a key component of using that Warden ability well. That people don't want to burn it early, but sometimes, again, HP is a resource. If you're using it going through the thickest part of your opponent's defenses, you're keeping everybody alive, that's worth. It doesn't have to be at the last minute. You can use it preemptively. Of course, the spring traps are still going to be doing a bit of damage here, but the big defenses are down. The scatter shots are down. Question now can become, can you get through this defensive Royal Champion? Can you get through this Inferno Tower? I don't know. Kevin, I'm not sure he's going to be able to do this.
Yeah, he's struggling a little bit there. He's got the Wizard Tower raining down on him while the Skeleton Trap just keeps those miners stuck in that splash damage. And now we're sitting here, and that Warden is on his own, trying to gain percentage again, still sitting in the 60% range at their second attack. That's not going to cut it right this early on. They have to come in with more than just the 69%.
Yeah, really going to need to continue to step up here. I feel like these bases from Spacestation are just giving them a bit of a hard time. Every single time I'm like, yeah, that funnel's set up well. That looks good. Okay, the body of the attack comes through. Oh, that was totally predicted. 100% predicted. The trap placement from Spacestation has been really nice, whether it be a tornado trap or some nice, golems that are coming up. The CC is well placed. The timing to line up really nicely, whether it be the spring traps in this situation. It just felt like SSG had the read on what attack was going to be coming their way. I dig it.
Well, 50% of Clash of Clans is attacking and 50% is building, right? So you have to remember to build your bases strong and to be tricky. And sometimes you just get lucky with the attack strategy. You're kind of predicting this happening here and you throw some traps there and it works out in your favor. Sometimes it's hard to tell if it was luck or if it was all planned for that particular attack. You try and lure people in on certain strategies.
I don't want to chalk it up to luck. Let's take a look at this next attack. Lucky would be potentially 3 stars in a row here. The triple for my Canadians out there who want a nice, a very watered down cup of coffee. But still, let's take a look at this. Of course, it's a Jethro from Spacestation Gaming, this #1 attacker. Tell us a little bit more about this player, Echo.
Yeah, Jethro is a guy that everyone knows. He's like a clutch player from Spacestation Gaming. He gets it done when you need to get it done, and he too is coming in with the hybrid on this attack. Like I said, we're probably going to see a bit of hybrid today because there's a lot of hybrid in the meta. It does well against many different types of bases. I believe last time we saw him run the hybrid, his queen ran into some troubles from last week, and well, if I recall. And maybe maybe that was John. That may have been John. I don't recall. Either way, you need to make sure your queen is safe, and it looks like she is way out of range right now. She's looking pretty good. Those archers are bothering her healers a little bit, which I don't love seeing, but the minions coming in to clean it up. But again, taking the time with the queen charge, taking out the things that you need to in phase 1 is the way to go. It's the smart thing to do so you can get through phase 2, which is going to be that kill squad of hogs and miners going under the walls or over the walls and wrecking the base. And she's coming up now against that scatter shot, which we all fear has done us wrong a few times.
It has, but unfortunately, the Royal Champion was unable to take down the Eagle Artillery, even with the shield being blown. So that's actually kind of annoying here. I love the Jethro. The use of that one minion there to make sure the healer stayed alive up against the archers, placing it in such a way that it wasn't going to get frozen by the defensive Ice Golem as well. Little things like that just make me appreciate the incredible nuance that goes into a game like Clash of Clans at this competitive level. The Queen's Charge is continuing. The Blimp's going in. The denial of the damage from the Eagle with that Eternal Tome. This is the Town Hall looking to go down here in an instant. Boom, let's make this happen. And now we're just continuing to see this attack look stellar because the healers are alive and a queen charge that's still in it 2 minutes into an attack, Echo. That's a good attack.
This is a really nice looking attack, and if you notice the base, the queen was able to walk from the north all the way down to the south just through that channel in the base. The super wall breakers were not even needed. They're going to be able to be swagged in this attack, and there are a lot of miners left in that southernmost compartment. It looks like we could be having another 3-star, three stars in a row, but it's a little early. There's one more compartment that hasn't been touched, and our queen did just go down, but now those healers can transfer over to the miners. Only 36 seconds. I may have spoken a little bit too early because the time could be an issue here on this one.
It is going to come down to the wires. Those miners need to get those shovels moving, burrow on through. They definitely have enough troops to get through this. The question is, are they going to have the time? The 2 archers are up top doing additional damage to some of these trash structures, and that is going to be the push on in. 14 seconds left. Oh, my goodness. I don't know. It's going to come down to the wire here. 10 seconds left. I don't think so. No. So close, but a time fail here for Jethro. Not quite the triple, but oh, baby, was it close.
I think I jinxed it on them. It was a time fail. 5% more of the base to go. Really nice hit, though. You know, a couple of less of those super wall breakers could have been brought around for some cleanup troops because the queen was able to walk her way. But really nice attack, but unable to pull in the triple for Jethro that time.
Yeah, I mean, still an incredible hit. A really, really solid hit. Again, tiny things like bringing the 1 minion in to make sure your healers stay alive. They end up playing a huge difference being able to come in after, not only getting your queen all the way down the channel, like you mentioned, but healing up your miners. Additionally, just, lots of little things done right. Makes me really appreciate competitive Clash of Clans. But let's see what the response is, because the Misfitzz are not out of this yet. They are down, but they are not out. It is Grim. We've seen him on defense. Let's see what he can do as the attacker.
Yeah, and he's coming in with that no, there's no P.E.K.K.A. It's actually the Yeti Bowler smash right here. No bats on this one, so it's, I mean, I say a little bit more of a classic attack, although the Yeti are new in the game, so it's not that classic. It's just not the newest Yeti attack. But let's see if he's going to be able to come in. He's coming in against Jethro's base, so we just saw Jethro on offense. Let's see how well he could do on defense, and if Grim, the #1 from Misfitzz, can hold it down for the team and try and get them back into this. You know, he wants a 3-star here to not only get closer in the game, but to rise the spirits of the team so that they can come on in and just feel good and just bring it back. And here come the Yeti. They're ready to smash some stuff.
Yeah, I mean, look, Yetamites, I believe in those little guys. They're terrifying. They're bouncy. They destroy things. I'm all about it. Let's see what this can do. The main bulk of this skill squad is going to go on in, needing to take down this town hall. They will look to do that with ease. Eternal Tome is burned, no problem. And you still have a decent amount of this attack left to try and get on through. You see the jump spells already being placed. This is the thought process from Grim of where this attack needs to go. But what the player thinks the attack needs to do always isn't necessarily what things actually happen. I like it. We see the blimp coming in on the other side, making a beeline through. We'll see if he utilizes it here. Yep, to try and take things down over on that side. The Eagle Artillery being the primary target. I like it, but I see what could be the bane of this attack in the middle. The freeze does connect on it. The Yetamites are there. There we go. That key defense there with that scatter shot taken down, Echo. But I don't know if there's enough left here.
There's not enough left, but that was a beautiful blimp. It cleared out the Eagle Artillery, the scatter shot. I even believe there was an Inferno Tower in there. Either way, if it was or not, that was a really nice use of the blimp and got massive value. Unfortunately, on the tail end, all we have are a few cleanup troops, a Queen, and a Warden. The Queen does have her ability. There's one freeze spell, but there's a lot of base left. So it looks like he's not going to quite get it done. Although it's too bad that kill squad died out so early in on the attack.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just feel like Space Station Gaming's base game has just increased like a lot, even over the last 7 days. They must have been doing their research. They must have been buckling down. They must have been testing things out and scrimming and going back and forth, because these bases have looked daunting. I'm looking at it, and I am not a top-level competitive player by any means. But even I, as somebody who's watched a lot of competitive Clash of Clans, look at this going, where would I attack this from? This is not easy.
I'll tell you, what is impressive, though, is the amount of cleanup getting done on the back end. Like, this attack, it proved to not be a 3-star like a minute ago, yet he's gotten about 20% more just from those two heroes. So, that's a positive thing from this attack itself, is how much he was able to grab after we already saw that the attack wasn't going to be a triple.
Yeah, no, and that's huge. And I mentioned this, their first attack. It's still relevant now. Every single percentage matters. However, it's going to take Space Station messing up a little bit at this point, because things are looking pretty darn good for them. Let's check in with our mid-match meetup with Carbon Finn, who's been watching all these attacks, and I'm sure he has to have a little bit of a grin on seeing what Space Station Gaming is doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming in with those first two triples in this war. What a way to be in the lower bracket and coming in with the pressure on the line. We had some great hits so far with that even time fail. So Space Station is looking really good here. It's going to have to be some just crazy stuff to lose this lead here.
What do you think is really going wrong for Misfitzz here? Because it seems like they just can't quite make a dent in some of these bases of Space Station.
You never know. There's some days people might see some bases that they've hit before. They can come in, and it's just sometimes some teams have better days than others. But it just looks like Space Station Gaming's day is today right here in this war.
I could not agree more. Sometimes, like, you see a base, you're like, wait, I've hit this before. I know exactly how I need to get this done. And clearly that's not happening for Misfitzz. Thank you so much, Carbon Finn. We'll check in with you at the end of the match with our Xperia highlights. But Echo, let's get back to the action, because Space Station Gaming is rared and ready to go once again. They've been looking so solid in this war. Let's see if that trend can continue.
Yeah, and we're coming in with Agent 33 again. This is another bow witch attack. We have the golem, we have the witches, and the bowlers. This is the classic attack strategy that you don't see anymore. Well, you didn't until last week, and now we're starting to see people using this again. It's funny how one successful attack can kind of spark a meta, right? And see that things are working because people are not building against this strategy. And Agent 33 is coming on in right for that town hall, which is nice. It's, you're going to be able to pull in the 2-star unless if something goes drastically wrong. Jump spell's been placed, and dealing with those ice golem out of the defensive clan castle, coming through with a nice quad quake. And not only that, the quad quake damaged all of those buildings, including the scatter shot that was in the eastern side of the base. So getting really good value from those widespread spells.
Yeah, I mean, that was the most perfect usage of that I could think of. That just opened up every single compartment in the middle of this base, and those bowlers are still looking supremely healthy. The king in there as well, additionally, to help tank for this. Oftentimes we see these kings sort of allocated off to the side, their cleanup, their funnel setting, but right in there in the thick of things too, with all these big beefy units, the life aura, of course, coming in from that Grand Warden, just making everything tankier. a big difference in sort of gutting the core of this base, and you've still got a queen up somewhere.
She's right there by the warden. Yeah, she's there by the warden with her ability, but the warden just went down. That single target Inferno was 1 pixel away. And if he stepped 1 more pixel away, he would have been safe. But he wasn't. And it looks like things are dying out on the tail end. And that's something that we see happen with some of these large kill squads. Now, if you noticed earlier, there was a tornado trap in front of that scatter shot. And it pulled the king away, which allowed the scatter shot to get a few more shots on that kill squad of bowlers, which very well could have just weakened them up enough to kill the attack off and not be able to get them to go through. We're not going to be looking at a triple this time around, I don't think. I mean, we're looking at a queen, a barbarian, and a wizard. They have to be the strongest in the game to pull in a triple here. But still, a 2-star, going to be probably near an 80% or something around there, and the queen's ability is still intact when this Inferno locks on.
I mean, I feel like that's the start of a joke. You know, a queen, an archer, and a barbarian walk into a bar. No, I think you're right. I think this is going to be the end of this attack right here. Queen's going to get targeted out by that Inferno and go down. But still, 85. I wondered for a second, I'm like, oh, this might be the attack. This might be the opening that, you know, Misfitzz needs. Space Station Gaming, they're at 70%. And then they claw back like an additional 15, and it looks totally fine. This was still a really solid hit, coming in with a strategy we're not really used to seeing. Again, something that's sort of pushing forward in the meta here and doing really, really well with it.
Yeah, well, that's the second witch attack strategy that we saw today. So maybe we're going to see more. Maybe we'll see some other teams utilizing witches, bowlers, bow witch. Maybe it's back in the meta. Who knows?
Dude, I love witches. I think they're a really cool unit. Anything that sort of summons stuff and can kind of prolong these attacks and create other enemies for defenses to target. I'm a big fan of all that kind of stuff. All I know is now, 2 triples. 2 triples and a big misstep from Space Station Gaming. That's how the Misfitzz gets back into it. Let's not talk any longer. Let's see this next attack. Let's see if they're going to be able to get it done right here or right now. They are certainly behind. As I said, down but not out. But now is the time to step up. Their run in the ESL Mobile Open Season 5 playoffs could end right here. Omar's got to get it done.
He does have to get it done. He's coming in with the Yeti Bowler Smash, with some extra hog riders as well. So he's probably planning on clearing out a section of the base and then back ending some hogs in, which I've seen some people have a lot of success with. We're going to see if the Misfitzz have the same success that I've seen others. Now, I would assume there's most likely hog riders in the siege barracks as well if things would go as my plan goes. But again, I'm not the pro player playing here, so they could have a very different plan than I'm thinking about in my head.
No, I think that's, again, it's pretty standard. Wouldn't be surprised if that's what we end up seeing here. Going to have the P.E.K.K.A. and the Wizards go out, continuing to set the funnel here on the over on the other side. And then, of course, this Grand Warden walk. One of the best things about it, we've always talked about this, is the idea that you can get that Warden back under control. In this case, maybe bringing him back in just a touch too early, but we'll see as the bulk of this squad is going to push in now. We already have the jump spell laid down, ready to rock, but that Eagle Artillery already starting to put up some pressure, as this is going to be an all-out war in the center of this base. Oh my goodness, so many health bars going up and down. Trying to keep track of this. Good luck to you. The Town Hall does fall. That's huge. That is the first star accumulated in there. Those are those Hog Riders you were talking about, Echo.
Yeah, they actually did come out. I was right this time around. We're going to remember that later when I make a mistake, but they were Hog Riders. More Hog Riders are being added in right now. But again, the kill squad just kind of got smashed in the core of the base. They didn't live. And look at the healers. They're getting picked on by those lava pups. So they'll slowly but surely going to go down. Airmine's going to beat on them too. I'll tell you, I mean, a lot of the base has been taken down. It was cored out nicely, but you have a lot to deal with. You have a scatter shot up still. You have the air defense that's going to take down the final healer, just trying to keep that Warden alive, and you have an Inferno tower. So it's a tough road ahead. Good effort though. Here goes the Warden on the Inferno. The Inferno, does take down the Warden. Does take down the Warden. I wasn't sure. I thought he was going to get out of range in time. But at this point, it's picking up percentage yet again, because with that scatter shot, unless if it's one shot, we'll see. No, the Queen didn't even get a shot off there. It's just going to be picking up percentage right behind that TikTok King walking his way around the outside.
Oh my goodness, this is not going to be a 3-star here from Omar, which means that in order for the Misfitzz to win this game, they need to see a pretty dramatic 1-star fail here from Space Station Gaming. So Again, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not ruling it out, but it looks like SSG has sort of done the work so far in this war. They're looking really, really darn good with only 2 attacks left to clean it up. Oftentimes, we come down to these final 2 attacks, things are even, things are well within striking distance, and functionally becomes a one-on-one at that point. This is not that war. This is not that war. This is Space Station Gaming looking really, really dominant, up 95% to 77%, 2 stars on the board. But let's see. Maybe this is the slip. Maybe this is the slip that sees Space Station Gaming fall tumbling down from greatness. We'll find out. Let's get into this next attack. I don't necessarily think so, Echo, but can't ever rule it out.
You never know in Clash of Clans. We've seen 1 stars before here in the ESL. It does happen. And look at this base. This base is I've actually seen this base before. This is a very similar base to what I run on my defense. And I'll tell you what, the base is really hard to grab that town hall from. You have to do a really nice funnel into the core of the base. It is actually really funny for me to see this base. But here we go. They're going in right at the clan castle, trying to eliminate the clan castle troops right away. And then they're going to be coming in with the queen doing her walk in the eastern side of the base. It's a hybrid attack strategy, and the only concern that Boone needs to have here is that he can get that town hall. He needs to secure his way into the town hall to get himself that 2-star. 2-star, that's going to be the end of things. But if he can't grab the town hall because of this impeccable base design, then there's going to be trouble.
Impeccable. Not even running any P.E.K.K.A.s. Gosh. I'm upset. No, this base is designed to deal with the potential 3-star pressure. It is that it's the anti 2-star even at this point. The anti 3, you leave the town hall on the other side, you stack your defenses, you play around your eagle artillery. Yes, we all know this, it's tried and true. But this base, this is interesting. But this queen charge is already doing so much work, and it's taking down the eagle artillery early. And with this rage, it is going to be enough to do so. The queen will survive. She does not have that royal cloak, and the freeze is being used to make sure that Inferno goes down. That was so well played from Boone. Oh my goodness, this queen now lives, and this attack becomes so much more potent. We might not even be looking at a 3-star. We could potentially see a triple if this goes right.
Well, we do still have some scatter shots up to deal with, 2 of them, and a single target Inferno, but the blimp is going into the town hall. If the blimp grabs the town hall here, he's going to feel good about this, and let's see if it has enough. The town hall is about to go down, and there it is. That's going to secure the 2-star, and I'm just curious to see if this attack has enough in the back pocket to pull in the triple, because I've seen this base work, and it could do a lot of work.
Oh, yes, indeed. We are having the miners on the outside, though. That's really what I'm looking towards with the single target Inferno, making me so scared as the queen does go down. So maybe my early predictions of greatness for this attack may have been a little bit short-sighted, because that one or a couple key defenses there in that other pocket do hold up with the scatter shot, with the wizard tower, with the Inferno. But in any case, Boone has done enough. He had a task. He had a goal. He had a mission. It was to get those 2 stars. And that's exactly what happened here in this attack. A really, really solid showing from the Misfitzz. Again, a team who's done so much work in the lower bracket, but it just does not look like it was their day. Their bases were read like a textbook, and we're seeing a textbook example of how to go about one of these wars.
Yeah, and sometimes when you're watching these attacks and we have these early predictions, it's really hard to do that now at Town Hall 13, because there's so many strong defenses that you can encounter towards the end of the attack. It's sometimes hard to predict if it's going to be a 3 or if you're going to be sitting with a 2. So, I hold no fault to you there, man. It's sometimes really difficult to be able to tell, but it was a very nice attack, and it gave Space Station what they needed. But can the Misfitzz come out maybe with a nice step forward to at least prove that they could put in some good damage?
I hope so. That's what I want to see. Let's get into this last attack. Go out swinging. If you are the Misfitzz, try and find that 3-star finish. Put a proud ending on this last attack of the season. It is Boga. Gonna be running another hybrid. No real surprises here. It's been a staple, the tried and true, like we mentioned. And got some sneaky little goblins. Okay, interesting. Things are exciting.
Yeah, we have some sneaky goblins and those super wall breakers as well. If you remember last week, Carbon Finn told us how you can have two of these troops. One was from last week that you never used and you kept them in your camp. And the other one is something that you've actually trained up and gotten ready for this week. So you can have two super troops at one time if you want to really get fancy. And, well, he utilized a few of them on the outside of the base, trying to pick away some defenses, get some value, a wizard in the eastern side of the base as well. And now the Queen Walk is starting down south. With that Cocoa Loon leading the way, I'm a huge advocate for the Coconut Loon.
Oh,
you know,
yes.
if you're going to be going in with those healers, you need to make sure that they don't go down. So sacrifice a balloon. Don't sacrifice a healer.
No, absolutely not. And we do talk about one of the Queen. Queen. That was the wall. That was the wall over there. The wall. Queen. Hello. Hey, team. Get on that AT&T 5G, get that GPS up and running, because this is what happens. He's had to throw down another super wall breaker to try and get her into this compartment, and she still refuses. Okay, finally. Oh my goodness. Okay. It took us a bit, but we got there. A lot of resources burned, but we got there. Okay.
Boga did not give up. He wanted that queen in that compartment, and she walked in her own direction, which sometimes happens, but I have to give him credit for forcing her back into that compartment, bringing the extra super wall breaker, and getting the pathing that he wanted. So the pathing, although all those extra resources were expended, it is going the way that he had wanted it to go in the first place. So at least he has to feel good about that, because that queen did exactly what he didn't want her to do.
Yeah, and sometimes, again, Murphy's Law, every wrong thing that could possibly happen will. And the rest of the attack, this attack has been looking pretty good, though. The Queen was actually able to make her way in, take down that Eagle Artillery, but this scatter shot, that's the thing I'm the most worried about. The heal spell is going to be able to negate a decent amount of this damage, but they need to take down that defense. It has gotten so many shots off. Look at that clump of hogs.
Oh.
It's now just crispy bacon. Oh, my goodness. Finally, try and take this thing down. Okay. We got there, but it cost us so much.
It did cost so much, but it's actually looking pretty good right now. Oh, the Hog Riders, there's a giant bomb right by the single target Inferno. Okay.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
The miners are good. This is all right. The miners are getting healed up. They're gaining health, but the time is the issue right now. They're going to be sent back up north, and they're going to be healed up and taking out those structures, and they're never going to be able to get back to clear the final compartment. For the Queen Walk or the Queen Charge going the way that it went in the beginning of this attack, I have to say I'm impressed on how much it was recovered and how he was able to pull in 91% at the end of this attack. It could have been worse.
Oh, yeah. No, that was a stellar recovery. That was prime example of how to get your Queen back on task. All right. I believe in you. You can do this. Positive reinforcement. That's what it's all about. But no, congratulations to Space Station Gaming. They are not going out yet. A solid 12-star, 92.6% war. And Misfitzz, not even quite able to hit that 80%. Not super ideal here. But we actually have Jethro on the line from Space Station Gaming to talk about that war. Jethro, congratulations first and foremost on that win.
I'm Jethro from Space Station Gaming. So I feel like my team has a lot of versatile attackers, and we also know the meta very well. However, this season of Mobile Open has been some of the highest competition from all of the teams. The team that is our biggest competition, I would say, is the ESL NA Cup. It's almost like they're close to perfection. This tournament has been so much fun. The competition this season has been out of this world, so I guess what I can say is, thank you. And it's been really fun playing this competition, and I hope it's the best for everyone.
Well, you heard it there. Lots of fun in the ESL Mobile Open Season 5 playoffs. Excited to keep that train going. Look, these guys this is what they do. They're just consummate professionals. And I think, we have to maybe look past getting knocked down to the lower bracket a little bit here, Echo, because again, they've looked so solid ever since.
Yeah, well, when you get knocked down to the bottom bracket, you just kind of dig in, you fight your way, because you could still come through in the end. The bottom bracket does not mean you're out. It means you have maybe a tougher road ahead. Doesn't mean that you're out. And if you're a clasher, you don't stop clashing, you don't start fighting. You just fight your way until the end.
Absolutely. And, that was a pretty solid end for Space Station Gaming there. Let's bring back Carbon Fin with our Xperia highlights to break down one of those attacks. We had a couple 3-stars there to look at. Carbon Fin, which one did you settle on taking a look at?
Well, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the second triple, I believe, which was Ghost, came in with the E-Drag triple. And the reason why, well, we talked about Air coming back here in the beginning of the show, but it's because a lot of the players that are watching, they typically want to maybe stick with an attack strategy that's pretty simple. And E-Drags is usually pretty simple to use, but it doesn't get too many triples. Usually the pros are not using it as much. So we'll take a look at exactly what he used and how he took the base down with those E-Dragons. And so we're going to be jumping into this one here, and Ghost deciding to come in with the 6 E-Drags, deciding to use the King and the Queen to help set that funnel, and then the Super Wall Breaker is going to let this Queen step up another layer in to try to grab that single target Inferno, the air defense, so that the E-Dragons can charge their way straight into this Town Hall. And look, the sweepers are both pointing away from the top side, so the E-Dragons will not get blown back as they charge away, and then an easy funnel up top with the baby dragon over there as well. And so this just takes time. You're charging your way through, and then usually in this case, if you have the CC that is taken out by the E-Dragons, then you can drop the Royal Champion anywhere in the base, and she can get a ton of value, because once that CC is destroyed, then nothing will come out of it. The Stone Slammer helps to set the additional funnel up at 12 o'clock, pops this Grand Warden ability super early to get through these traps and push his way straight in, and then he saves at least another rage to be over the Town Hall, because the defenses around the Town Hall are chainable, like the Grand Warden platform, the scatter shot. They can chain all the way through here, drops a nice freeze, and then the E-Drags are just going to push their way through with a back-end Royal Champion, and it worked really well to get all this value through, and he had plenty of E-Dragons. You don't see too many pros using it, but when they get that chain value on the base and they identify it correctly, they can absolutely obliterate the bases, and that's exactly what happened here.
Well, you saw it. Little things, again, continuing to be done well, identifying a base that's going to get a ton of value from that chain lightning, and a simple strategy just executed at a really high level. And sometimes the best simple things done well are just the best things. Thank you so much there, Carbon Fin.